Hello. See, this is the kind of video this is going to be. Not that great. But I am going to show you how to do the paper clay gnomes real quick. It's a sheet of square foot sheet of aluminum foil. I'm going to scrunch it up into a nice little ball. This is going to be your armature, so your ornaments actually dry and stay hard for a long time, and they don't weigh 10 pounds. So you got just a little ball, and you're going to make a little indentation with your thumb. Not too thick, not too deep. All right, I'm going to take a little square of aluminum foil. This is a quarter of a square foot sheet. One. These do them loose so you can mold them to this. So 2, 3, and 4. This is going to shape their face, like the beard area. So we're going to flatten that real quick so we know what the top is. So this is the top of the head, and then this will be like a little nose area. Alright, so kind of like, you know, like you want to shape the beard. So I usually just give it a real good press, because you can like mold this just like you mold the clay. And then take it off. You want to be really easy with the glue because you don't want it to come through. What I do to dry my clay really quickly, you're not supposed to, but I do kind of like a dehydration. Like I put them in the oven at like 150 or 175 and just leave it in there for a few hours. And that, to me, kind of eliminates the whole 24-hour let each layer of your air dry clay dry. It's not like working with polymer clay. It's a lot of wait time, a lot of dry time, and it's kind of a pain in the tush, but I really, really like working with the air dry clay. It's a lot more forgiving, and I like to paint. I like to paint more than I like to work with the polymer colors, you know. I haven't tried actually doing just the plain white, like Sculpey. Plus with the water too, I'll show you, you know, when we put the clay on the armature, it allows smoothing is so much easier. So this is like, you got your two like tufts of hair, and then the little tuft of beard that goes like at the end, like, so you see where we're going with this, right? Okay, putting that back up. Mr. Glue Gun. I hate this glue gun, by the way. It drips. Look at that. That's just what it does. All right. So you got his little tuft in there. Oh. I tell you not to use a lot of glue, and then look at me. It's everywhere. It's going to be fun. See, when you put it in the oven, if you use a lot of glue, it'll seep through the clay. So you have to put layer upon layer on top of the glue so it doesn't destroy everything. So this last little fourth piece, we are going to see how, see, top of the head, tuft of beard, blah, blah, blah. And now we have like what's going on there. So we're just going to fix that. I don't know if it's, well, it's definitely got to be from like pressing it and goofing around with the other shapes that every single time I have to add a piece to the back because it always gets goofy. Mr. Drippy. And there we go. All right, so now, you know, you can goof around, play with it. Like I said, it's just the armature. You are going to add layers of clay to this to make it, you know, more even and pretty and not look like a deformed potato. I'm going to take another little piece of another little ball, and I'm going to make this guy's nose pretty big. I want him to be kind of goofy. I don't know what he's going to be. If he might just be a plain one with a painted head. Or a hat, I mean. Obviously. He's silver Santa Claus. No. Okay. So there. There's my face armature. Boom. Did it in 6 minutes. Wow. Alright, another whole sheet. Now this one, I'm going to put aside for a second because now we need some wire. Any wire, doesn't matter. Green wire, purple wire, red wire, black wire, the wire from your TV, who cares? Alright, cut about, I don't know, what, 5 inches, 6 inches? And your little needle nose round pliers, these little guys, clip, clip. Alright, hold them like that, cross over, what am I doing here? Alright, cross over, and then you just take it off, kind of like you're making a bail, like if you were making jewelry. And then, see, so now you got this round there, and then they cross there, and you'll figure it out. Twisty, twisty. I know my breathing probably sounds horrible, right? Every time I listen to myself on video, it's like, alright. So then we got that, right? And you can play with it to make it perfect and do your thing. Now, I just do like a zigzag because this is gonna be your little ornament hook. So you don't want it to move. So I figured if I did like the little zigzag, see it? Right? Then it would kind of like maybe grab onto the aluminum foil. So I'm just giving it an opportunity to snag the foil and for the foil to get in between the, you know what I mean? All right, so I'm gonna throw that on there like that, right? Oh, let's try actually getting it on the right angle. So you have like a little semi-mushed triangle. So we get that to the top. Make your fingers work, drink some coffee, and then I'm just like really squishing it in there so it kind of grabs that wire, and then just twist it around and you can shape your armature. Now, if you ever like squeeze your aluminum foil too tight or whatever, add another layer of foil. You know, adding another layer of foil is much better than adding another layer of clay. If you add another layer of clay, you're just going to add more weight. And it's not going to work on an artificial tree because you're going to have that one limb that's hanging to the ground. So, try to use the aluminum foil to your advantage this way. Plus you're wasting clay too. If you're working, like if you're making the TV clay, I mean, you pretty much have unlimited amounts of clay. It's out of toilet paper. I mean, really. The DOS clay was $8.88 at AC Moore, and I used a 50% off coupon. So I got $4.44 for a pound. I think it's a pound of clay, which is amazing. Also too though, you know, if I use a lot of it, that's going to get pretty expensive. I mean, I have 4, 8, 9, 10 one in the oven, and this would be number 11 that I'm working on at the same time. And, you know, using this that cost me $1.50 whatever, as opposed to, you know what I mean? It'll add up. Anyway. That's me making excuses just to be able to make toilet paper clay and say I made this out of toilet paper because I think that's really cool. Alright, so then we're just going to glue this wonderful cone-shaped gnome hat. Just think of it as your Dollar Tree sock for your mop gnome. There's the sock. So here we have just the beginning. Now see, I'm going to want his hat thicker around here. Like so. That's what I'm talking about, fill in your holes with foil. So I always have these little quarter sheet hanging around because this is what happens. And my glue is like going to make a liar out of me tonight, so there's that. Alright, so reshaping it. So see, a little more coney. And more glue. This is going to be fun to see this come out of the oven. Let's give him a tilt. It seems to want to bend naturally right there, so why not let it happen? Let's give him a tilt and a tilt. So he's going to have a goofy little hat. Will it hang right? Now that's just going to be so cute. All right. He looks kind of weird. I'm dead. More glue. I'm done. All right, let's stop messing with this. So, for your fifth and final sheet, I don't know if I said that, usually I use about 5 sheets. So for your fifth and final sheet, you're going to make a nice edge at the top here. Alright, and you're just literally going to wrap this guy nice and tight. Now this one you're really going to work in there. You'll see how that is coming together much nicer. Now if you have access, I pull it to the back of the face, because this I can just clip off if I need to. So here we are. Here we have the face with his big old nose and his goofy curly hat. See, I'm really squishing it down in there. What is that? That doesn't belong there. See, so get it. Oh, we're approaching 14 minutes. What is happening? You can cut it or rip it. All right. And there is, looks like a sperm. There is your Mr. Gnome head. And this literally weighs nothing. All right, now we get the clay. This is the toilet paper clay. Now you can tell everybody you made it out of toilet paper. I already shared the link. If I put this up on YouTube, obviously I'll put the link up. This woman has, women honestly, have inspired the hell out of me with this insane invention of clay that lasts for a really long time. I have sculptures for 2+ years now that are perfect. They're fine. And people love them. I love the reactions you get when you tell them you make it out of toilet paper. It just makes it the best. Now see, I'll be quiet now. No, wait. I'm going to tell you what I'm doing. Ha ha. All right, so we are spreading this joyous. I made this toilet paper clay with a little bit extra water. So you get the spreadability of it. You can just literally, like, it's the consistency of like cream cheese, but a really sticky, melty cream cheese. Don't lick your fingers. This would be freaking disgusting. All right. Now, usually, I'll stop right about here because, see, that's what happens. It'll get a little, as it starts to dry, it gets, when it's at this consistency, it gets a little dry or a little sticky, and you start pulling it off. So what I'll do is I will hang it up, and this way, I'll let this part kind of dry a little bit so I can handle it. Like, so I can pick it up and hold it and do the bottom. So this one I won't stick in the oven because that, like I said, that hot glue is still exposed and it's going to freaking drip everywhere and that's going to be nasty. So I am going to turn the camera off and come back when this is dry. All right, we're back with dry to the touch, still kind of squishy, which means, you know, bake it or let it sit for a day. Squishy clay. I bet the kids would love this crap. Mine are all grown, off to college, off having babies, off living a single life. See, we had a little hole there. Get that little hole covered up. I like to put, like, haha, and there's the chime. That's going to keep going off until I go turn the oven timer off. There is a little guy in there doing his little dehydration. So anyway, I like to put a thin layer of this ooey gooey clay, and to just get it like this, you literally just add more water. And I just like using it to spread. You can use, if you don't like getting your fingers all icky, you can spread it like frosting. But I'm a jump in there and do it, kind of get it done, because this isn't really the fun part. The fun part is actually turning him into a personality, giving him a funky little hat or a funky little beard, a little wart on his nose. Is he going to be a creeper, or is he going to be a cool dude? Is it going to be a girl? Is he non-binary? What is he? I don't know. Right now, he's gooey. He's the gooey gnome. Alright, so he's pretty much all covered up. And this, I would probably put in the oven at like 175 for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. Get them good and dry. And then you could really goof around with turning them into things. And I'm going to turn this off, take homeboy out of the oven, who I think is another one of these, so I can just kind of start giving him life, and I will be right back. So I just took this guy out of the oven. He's still hot, but I wanted to show you what I do. This is just, I don't even know where I got these. There's some sort of display or something, probably from the Dollar Tree. So I hang these like on my oven rack. So he sits there and hangs. Oh, look, we have a crack. Nope, not a crack, a thumbnail. That's my thumbnail. All right, so this guy's a little warm, but ow, okay, he's a little more than warm. But anyway, they only take like 5 minutes to cool off. So this is what comes out of the oven, like what we just put in. So he's good. He's dry. He's really light. Paper clay dries super, super light. Okay, so we're gonna let this guy cool off for a minute, and we're gonna refine some of his details with the toilet paper clay. Alright, so he's cool enough to the touch that I can mess with him now. So the first thing I want to do is, I'm kind of digging the way his nose is. I think this is good. Like, I think after the hair is on there, this is going to be good. What I want to fix is this ridge. So I'm going to do a little, pretty much from here to here is going to be the toilet paper clay to get that good base in there. Then we'll come back through with the DOS clay, to do more of your fine details. So we're just gonna, I just like, actually, always have your water around. Water is key to working with air dry clay, whether it's the toilet paper clay or the DOS clay or whatever other air dry you have. I just say DOS because that's what I have. And I'm gonna be generous with the clay, putting it around the rim of the little gnome hat. All right, because as you manipulate it, you know, you could push it up, push it down, put it where it goes. I tend to really screw up by not having enough clay on the back of the head, and the back of the hat looks kind of wonky. I mean, not that I've met any gnomes recently to see what their hats actually look like. I know I'm not funny. So anyway, you guys are gonna be like, this is the worst video ever made. This chick is insane. I'm really not. This is just an old, you know, pretty much done brush, and I like to use it to get in all my little nooks and crannies and make them as smooth as possible. This way, and it just looks good. It looks professional. It looks finished. So we're gonna keep doing this. until his hat is his hat. Okay, right here I want to point out where it did something, and you'll do this too. It's just inevitable. What I did is I went in to the water too many times. So what has happened now is, see how this has gotten, like, it's gotten mushy. So what you want to do is kind of just shape it. I mean, you're not going to get it perfect. You're going to keep playing it with it. It's overworked. So you just shape it to its generic and let it dry for a little while. Let the air hit it. Also, too, I wanted to point out, see how I went a little thick? So this is where it's dry already. And this is where it's dry already. So this is a pretty thick little layer of clay I got going on here. So that I'm going to probably let, I'll put it in the oven for a few hours. And I'm just going to like let it sit overnight. This way I know it's going to be dry. The last thing you want is for you to finish a project and have it still be wet on the inside. I don't have anything to show you what it looks like, but what'll happen is if it's still wet on the inside, and even though it feels like it's dry, and you paint it and you seal it and you give it away to your Auntie Sue, in 6 months or a year probably, because Auntie Sue will pack it away, she's going to pull out an ornament that has sealed mold because she left the moisture in there. So you want to make sure before you, I mean, like this guy right here has been sitting for 2 days. I love him. I don't even have the beard on him yet because I'm terrified because of this thickness that is in here. And with all these little details, that it'll get moldy one day. So, I mean, he's been sitting for 2 days. So, and maybe I'll mess with him tonight. Probably not. I'll let him sit for another day just to be safe. So I just wanted to give you that little tidbit. So we're going to stick this guy in the oven for a couple of hours. Then we're going to let it sit overnight and come back to it. Okay, so this is why I said I always have many, 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 many projects going at the same time. So this guy here, I'm giving him a top hat instead of an elf or gnome hat. Ooh, I did it now. Elf. So anyway, this is just basically the same thing that we just made. Instead of a cone, I just did a cylinder, and then this is all clay, because I figured, how the hell am I going to do an armature with like a top hat brim? So I figured I'd leave it like this, give it a little sand down, you know, to even up these edges, and then maybe build a little bit, because I mean, it's pretty sturdy, and it is a Christmas ornament, so what are you going to do? Like, throw it around? No. You're going to take care of it, so it can be a little bit fragile. All right, so with this, I'm going to sand this and talk to you when I'm done. Okay, so the sanding is basically the same. I mean, obviously, you could work at it for, if you don't have like a Dremel, you could work at it with regular sandpaper, or you could work at it, and that's loose, I have to fix that. Or you could work that with more clay. Like literally, you turn, okay, I used it all. All right, so literally you turn the clay into like a paste, like a, you could spread it with a knife, water paste, and do really thin layer. Or you can do what I have started to do, and that is use the DOS. So that's the concept. So that's what we did here. So you've seen before, we had the cone for the hat. Now this is with the beard on, but we did the same thing. Is you take the Dremel and you're going, you know, like under here, you're taking a piece of sandpaper, or even you could even do wet aluminum foil and get it nice and smooth. And then take your finger and do it nice and smooth. I have other things to show you to make it nice and very pretty and very smooth and paintable and looking really well done without a lot of work. There's some tricks to it. So what we're going to do with, I guess we'll put the beard on Mr. Snowman here. Mr. Snowman. Okay, that's great. Snowman. I think I'm going to keep that. So we're going to give him his... No, we're not, because his hat's not done. So we're not going to give him his beard. Who do we have that needs a beard? All right. You get to be Mr. Numicorn. Numicorn? Yeah, I shouldn't talk anymore. But anyway... You see here, we haven't even finished his hat yet, but we're going to give him his beard, and they're going to let the beard dry and do his hat, so it doesn't really matter. It's however you're comfortable with working. So what we're going to do is I'm only going to show you, like, this half, and then, I mean, obviously, looking at the pictures and stuff, you'll get the gist. It doesn't have to be a 3-hour-long video. So we're going to get it nice and... the great thing about paper clay, too, is it doesn't immediately reactivate once you get it wet, so if, like, you spill something on this, it's not going to melt away. But you take this and you'll feel it. It'll start to get a little pasty, and you'll know like your stuff is going to stick. And plus, you do have to work a little bit extra to get the DOS to stick to the toilet paper clay. Like the DOS is kind of like the paper clay is like the wrong side of the tracks. Like that's for us broke folks. That's what I got into it for. I had absolutely nothing to play with, and I saw one of Creative Mom's videos with her little fairy houses, and I just was like, I'm hooked. That's it. It's over. So DOS is an air dry clay. Honest to God, I don't even know if there's paper in it. It doesn't feel like the toilet paper clay. You do not have to condition it like polymer clay. It's just here for you to use, and it's however you like the texture. Like I like to add a couple of fingerprints, like a couple of fingers of water, especially when I'm making the beard. It makes it, you know, a little bit more sticky and, I don't know, more sticky, I guess. All right. So anyway, all right. So this is still, let's get it a little bit more, let's call it conditioning. All right, so we're going to take this yummy, sticky paper clay. And for the first part is you really want to just squish it on there. Get them, like, because you'll see that you can see how you can kind of lift, like that part that I didn't really squish down, I can, like, just lift it up. So we want to get it, like, in there. Like just over and over and over again until you know that it's not, you know, it's not coming off. Because what we're going to do is use the knife to like make beard marks. And as you're doing that, you're kind of moving the clay down. So if it's not stuck, it's just going to peel right off and waste your time. All right. So I'm satisfied. That's good and stuck on there. So you can bring your water close to your workspace. Grab this knife, an X-Acto knife, a kitchen knife, a dollar store box cutter, whatever. Something thin and pointy. Thin and pointy. Now this one I like because I can do a little bit of a girlier beard and flip it over and give it a tuft. So honestly, all we do is I like to separate it from any other architectural element. So we're going to get it away from his nose. So that gives us a good area to shadow when we paint. And, you know, once again, we'll go back in with, when we're, you know, doing the final ends, we'll go back and we'll keep this nice and wet and try to keep smoothing it so that stays like a little cute area with his little button nose. It's so cute. Okay, so you're going to want to do that all the way around your little gnome guy. And finally, when you're done, I usually do like this little, his little bottom beard nubbin. I kind of make them all meet down the bottom because I still want it to be like an ornament, you know. I still want it to have that, and spill the water everywhere. I still want it to have that narrow, or that round, you know what I mean, now round, narrow ornament shape. So there it is. That's how you do it. And now I am going to show you on another one more smoothing technique. Oh no. Alright, I'll use this one here. I think I have all these made, right? Or we'd be screwed. Alright, now this stuff. Alright, that's it with this water. Oh, big mistake. Always close your paper clay. No matter what you're doing, close the paper clay or you're going to be so mad because it dries so fast. Alright. Hold on, gotta plug the phone in. It's warning me. Okay, here we go. So this is just a jar, but inside of this jar is drywall compound. Mushy gushy drywall compound. This is the stuff, if you made the paper clay, this is the stuff that you used. So what I like to do is take like a flat brush, you know, crappy one, and get some of that drywall compound in there and see where we have these little lumps and bumps. I am just going to take this drywall and brush it on. Takes a few minutes to dry because we're doing a nice thin layer. And literally, you take your wet finger or a paper towel and you just go over it just like you would if you were patching a hole in the wall. And it makes, if you happen to have a little screwed up hole that you messed up while you were sanding, or you want to make the front a little smoother, like the nose area, if you want to make that a little smoother and cover in some of them indentations. You know, if you screwed up on your carvings, like, you know, here's your, you know, oh, I made these too rough. You could literally fill them in. All right. Get it all in your little groove. Come back in. Wet the brush a little bit. Come back in. Give it a real light. And now you are all smooth. And as it's drying, you can come back in and smooth it a little bit more. And then either sand it, like get in there with your fancy little Dremel bit. And get in, make that detail a little bit nicer. You can even, if you had these, even without the Dremel, like sometimes I'll take the really pointy ones and I'll go in and I'll make that nice and smooth. Or you can go back in with a little bit more clay, do it that way. I mean, any way you want to. So basically that's the way you do it. And then when it's dry, you just go in with a little wet finger. I don't know if you can see it. And all these little divots go away. See? And you make pretty. And there you go. Nice and smooth. And then you have something ready to be painted. I have Santa here. And this is all done nice and smooth. And then we put a layer of, I put a layer of gesso on after that. The gesso is basically, it's like what they put on canvas. It seals the paper clay, the air dry clay. So as you're adding layers and layers of paint on, it's not getting absorbed into the clay. It's actually sitting on top of the clay. So you get these nice, bright, vivid colors, and they don't fade. And then you add your glitter or your paint, and this is what you end up with. This is, I put a layer of polyacrylic on top. Somebody also asked me how, with the glitter. Now, when I do the glitter, I take the loose glitter and I mix it with a little bit of polyacrylic. A little bit thicker than like paint, more like a glitter glue, but with polyacrylic. And that way too, you're not getting glitter everywhere by like, you know, dotting glue and dusting. Oh, I don't want to just let my brushes, you know, dry out on me, because that would be great. Something just fell on the right desk. That's creepy. Anywho, so this is what you end up with. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, so my crazy butt made you guys the video. If you have any questions, I will answer them. If anybody wants to order one, just send me a message. Maybe someday I'll get an online shop set up if I stop giving everything away. Okay, thanks guys for asking. I appreciate all the comments and the support and the messages. You guys are fantastic. Bye.